Hi, hello. This is Dr. Wahida, Assistant Professor of Management Studies, Jamal Mohammed College. Guys, in this video, we are going to look on introduction of strategic management. Before we're going to what is strategic management, we just understand what is the meaning of strategy. The word strategy comes from Greek word strategos, which means general. General is a person who is leading an army. Here, once again, the word comes from the Greek word strategos, which means a general, that a military command given by a person. It is called a general. So he is leading a troop of an army. So the strategic thinking, its roots in military strategy. So the strategy word thinking comes from the military strategy, the military science, the branch of military science dealing with military command and the planning and conduct of a war. In the management concepts, we say strategy is an elaborate and systematic plan of action from long-term perspective. Strategic is an action plan built to achieve a specific goal or set of goals within a definite time while operating in an organizational framework. So strategic is what actually a plan of action which leads to attain a specific goals of a organization within the definite period of time. So here we have some of the definition of strategy. So the major two famous authors as per Gluck and as per Chandler. So the definition is given. So as per Chandler, the strategy is the determination of basic long-term goals and objectives of an enterprise and the adoption of the courses of action and the allocation of resources necessary for carrying out these goals. So it is nothing but the strategy is what actually the determination of long-term goals. The first of all, the strategy is what? The determination of long-term goals or objectives which the enterprise has to adopt. Okay, so which the enterprise has to adopt and it has to be put in action. How? By allocating the necessary resources to carry out those goals. Okay, so that's what actually the strategy. So here we see some of the features of strategy. It is known for the top management responsibility. Of course, the strategies are framed by the executive levels, the managers levels. So it's not done by the operation level people. So it is done by the major level people, top level people. So it is concerned with the top management responsibility, and that what they will do, they will allocate the large amount of resources to various business which operates under that. Okay, so it is major is what? To allocate the large amount of resources, and it is impact on long-term prosperity of the firm. Of course, the strategy is what? Actually a long-term plan. So we already said it is a long-term plan. The plan is what? Regarding to long-term prosperity. So it is what? The strategy will impact on long-term prosperity of the firm. And it is future oriented. Of course, it is what the business to be. So regarding the business, what it want to be become, it is related to that the strategy to be formed. So it is regarding to future oriented, and it is multifunctional or multi-business consequences. It is not only framed for one particular business. Of course, the corporate have various business. So in various levels also it operates, like functional levels, operational level, business level. So it is concerned with multi-business consequences. It considered the factors in the external environment. The strategy, before formulating the strategy, they have to consider the factors prevailing in the environment. Of course, major factors which influence is externally, which affects, like political, legal, everything they have to consider by before they framing the strategy. So it is what actually the consideration of factors in the external environment. Next, we move on to the levels of strategy. The strategy can be framed under the strategy can be classified under three terms. That is corporate level strategy, business level strategy, and functional level strategy. That is what in a multi-business enterprise, they have several SBUs, like what as SBUs level, strategic business unit. Okay, so there would be 3 levels of strategies, with the corporate strategy, SBU strategy, and functional strategy. The enterprise which do not have SBUs, there will be only 2 levels of strategy. Of course, the company do not have the SBUs, they will only have 2 levels of strategy. But the company which have the SBU levels, they can have the 3 types of strategy. First, we can move on to the corporate strategy. The corporate strategy is the long-term strategy encompassing the entire organization. The corporate strategy addresses the fundamental questions such as what is the purpose of the enterprise, what businesses it want to be in, like portfolio strategy it also known as, and how to expand into such a business, everything like merger, acquisition, or expanding by diversified likewise. Okay, so here the corporate strategy is formulated by the top level corporate management like board of directors, CEO, and chief of functional areas. Okay, so here the main policy regarding what they will form, the major financial policy decisions, like financial policy, like what the how the from where the finance to be sourced, or how do the investment to be made. It comes from the financial policy decisions and involving acquisitions, diversifications, and structural redesigning, like entire business to be restructured or redesigned, or the business to be diversified, etc., to be formed by the top level management. So the major strategy is what? The corporate level strategy. The next one is business level strategy. This is also known as SBU strategy. So SBU level strategies are called business strategy, or competitive, or also called competitive strategy. It is concerned with decisions pertaining to the product mix, market segments, and maneuvering competitive advantages for the SBU. So while corporate strategy decides the business portfolio, that is the types of business which you want to be, the competitive strategy or the SBU strategy, it will decide to succeed in the chosen business. Okay, so SBU, in short, the SBU level strategic management is the management of effort to compete effectively in a particular line of business and to contribute to overall organizational purposes. So here the SBU level, what the managers level, each and every business is considered a separate unit. So each and every managers at this level translate the general directions and intent into concrete functional objectives. So example decisions at this level include policies involving new product development, marketing, research and development, etc., to be carried in the type of strategy. And the next one is functional level strategies. The functional level strategies are different functional areas like production, finance, personnel, marketing, etc. So in other words, the functional level strategic management is the management of relatively narrow areas activity which are of vital, pervasive, or continuing importance to the total organization. So these functional level strategies is the responsibility of functional areas heads. So functional areas, under the each business, they have different functional areas, isn't it? So, and for handling the day-to-day task of strategy, everything comes under the operational level strategy, and the functional and operational level strategy to be framed by that concerned persons, that concerned departments heads. So thus functional level strategic management is the management of relatively narrow areas acting, which has to be done by the functional area heads. We have to sum up this. These levels of strategy is considered as 3 levels. One is the corporate level, and the business level, and last one is the functional and the operational level strategy. Here, so what the corporate strategy they will do, where to compete, where the business to be. So it is future regarding the entire grants, these entire decisions regarding the corporate to be taken by this level of strategies, that is also known as the grand strategies. And the next one is it's known as the generic strategies. Here the business, each business they will take how to compete the competitor. The corporate level they will decide where to compete, and the business level they will decide how to compete their competitors, and the functional they will decide how to contribute, what are the functions to be carried on to reach the entire organizational goals. Okay, so these are the levels of strategy. So the strategy which we have seen already, the levels, it has to be formulated by the strategist. Okay, so who are these strategists? These are the person is known as the stakeholders. We'll see who are the stakeholders. So stakeholders is an individual or group with an interest in an organization, that any individual or group can affect or affected by the achievement of firm's objectives known as the stakeholders. The stakeholders of the person who are involved. So in the large organization, the board of directors, the general managers, the corporate planning staff, and in some cases external consultants may also play a role in strategic planning and execution. So all the stakeholders comes under the strategist characteristics. So these are the stakeholders, can be classified as the internal stakeholders and connected stakeholders and external stakeholders. Internal stakeholders are the directors, managers, employees of the organization, and the connected are who's the shareholders, the suppliers, advisors, the consultants, competitors, or comes under the connected stakeholders. And the external stakeholders are known as the government, local community, pressure groups, etc. Media also comes under the external stakeholders. So these stakeholders will contribute major post in the strategic formulations. So this is what actually the strategic management process. In this video we just see what actually the strategic management process. The depth we will see in the next video. So strategic management process, it can be considered 3 process majorly, but here we have given 4 as that. Step 1 is known as what? Strategic intent, and step 2 it is known as a strategy formulation, and step 3 it comes strategy implementation, finally strategy evaluation and control. So the steps can be classified as to 4 steps. Mainly the strategy intent and formulation can combine and say as a one. It comes under the strategy formulation. But before the strategy formulation, the intent to be known. What is the vision and mission of the company should be identified first. Then after identification of the vision and mission, goal, objectives of the organization, they have to do thorough environmental scanning before formulated the strategy. So that comes under the formulation step. And after formulated the strategies, they have to implement the strategies by structural implementation, procedural, behavioral implementation, like various steps we have. After implementing, they have to thoroughly evaluate the results of the strategy which they implemented. So what actually they want to be and what they have achieved, what is the gap to be analyzed in the last step of the strategy evaluation and control, the necessary action to be taken for that. And in depth of this strategic management process we will see in the next videos. Thank you.